I'm afraid to say there's a demographic freight train heading towards the housing market. When this unstoppable freight train strikes the US home market, it won't be good. It's picking up speed. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the aging of the US population. Well, how does it affect the housing market? Let's find out. Aging population owning more homes and its impact on housing market. As baby boomers, the unprecedentedly large generation of people born between 1946 and 1964 entered adulthood. They were met with a robust and thriving economy. 45% of baby boomers were able to purchase their first house between the ages of 25 and 34 because of an accessible housing market. Buying a home became the hallmark of the American dream, a dream attainable for many because of relatively low housing costs and competition. Millennials, the generation born between 1981 and 1997, have surpassed baby boomers in number, but have faced a starkly different economy and housing market. Compared to baby boomers, only 37% of millennials between the ages of 25 and 34 own homes. These stark variations in home ownership have a variety of causes. Millennials are dealing with an enormous amount of economic challenges, such as mounting student loan debt, a housing market that is still recovering from the 2008 housing catastrophe, and skyrocketing living expenses. In addition, a bottleneck in the housing market brought on by baby boomers has a big impact on millennial home ownership. Baby boomers are not only living longer than previous generations, but they are also staying in their homes for longer periods of time. Baby boomers accounted for 43.5% of all homeowners in 2000. Just 1.5% of the ownership decreased, leaving 42% in 2010. Even though the oldest baby boomers are getting close to their mid-70s, an age considerably past the typical retirement age, the percentage is still 41% almost 10 years later. While this is not a new housing trend, the fact that baby boomers have home ownership rates of 80% creates an unprecedented problem for the housing market and for future homeowners, especially as the housing market's inventory hits historic lows. For a wide range of causes, baby boomers are choosing to age in place. First of all, compared to other generations, baby boomers are retiring significantly later in life. They continue to live in their homes while simultaneously working. In addition, as people approach retirement, instead of relocating to smaller homes and condominiums, they're making modifications to their current properties to accommodate their changing needs, with the aid of various home equity loans. In addition, even baby boomer homeowners that would potentially be willing to sell are not because of a lack of affordable homes for them to downsize into. 85% of baby boomers who currently own 32 million houses have stated that they have no plans to sell anytime soon due to a combination of these factors. While baby boomers own roughly $13.5 trillion worth of properties, millennials are delaying home ownership in part because of housing shortages and resulting affordability. Homes built by the baby boomer generation ought to have been up for sale around this time. These residences would have satisfied the increased demand from millennials who have reached or are about to reach the point in their lives when they buy a home. Essentially, as the housing market recovers from the burst of the housing bubble, a housing bottleneck has taken its place, further affecting the possibility of home ownership for millennials. A potential oversupply of houses on the market is something that has yet to be seriously worried about in the long run. Differences between millennials and baby boomers are most likely to blame for this oversupply. The same barriers to entry that prohibit millennials from becoming homeowners today may very well persist because financial capability may still be a problem for a generation that is emerging from the Great Recession and dealing with significant financial constraints. The issue of a lack of demand for the specific dwellings that will be introduced to the market in the ensuing decades is also a concern. In comparison to earlier generations, millennials have different needs and preferences. These are other aspects as well, such as the size of homes and the architecture of the property itself, that will affect whether millennials will even be interested in buying homes in particular neighborhoods where baby boomers will inevitably be selling. Economists are worried about a potential housing crash due to this uncertainty. The issue stems from the likelihood of a significant oversupply in some locations, which will drive down housing costs and result in a housing catastrophe there. Overall, because of the unusual and unprecedented scenario the housing market is currently in, these predictions can only, to some extent, educate us. Despite an even larger population that is in need of housing, a sizable elderly population is nonetheless holding on to their homes. The housing market's future is uncertain. But it's imperative that both public and private players prepare for it by adapting and making plans for changes that are certain to come. With that, we conclude our today's video. Let us know what you think about what happened in the near future in the comments section below. If you find the video informative, press the like button and do subscribe to our channel. Goodbye.